listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Hope to win the championship and a few rings. We're talking baseball. It's an orange and blue thing. Walk off if the game's tied like shoestrings. It's a Mets podcast, orange and blue thing. Beat the other team with defense and a few swings. LFGM, it's an orange and blue thing.
Oh my God.
Take two.
We are losing it over here, guys. We are losing it. Happy Monday.
It is a friggin' Monday, that's for sure.
If you're watching the replay or listening to the podcast, you have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, but it is now 10 minutes after the hour. We usually start on the hour, which we did.
We tried.
We started on time.
We made an effort.
Julia walked in like 3 minutes before show time.
Oh, so it's my fault.
It's not your fault at all. But I kind of rushed my end of it as well because you had walked in. I usually do a couple tests. I like, touch your mic to make sure things are working. I didn't.
Right.
And I wash it after I touch your mic.
Sanitize it.
Yeah, so what a start. What a start to the show. And it's kind of
fitting.
Simpatico with the Mets start to the season. They've only played 5 games. The season, the Mets, not the Mets. MLB's season is 11 days old.
I know.
The Mets played 5 games.
It's insane.
And yesterday they played for 7 minutes, which we'll get to in a little bit.
That is so ridiculous.
You're supposed to be going to the game tonight, right?
I am, but I really don't.
You need a break.
I do. I'm
weekend.
low-key hoping it's a rain out because I did not think this through. Once I realized I could get in the stadium again, I got trigger happy. I got tickets for today. I got tickets for tomorrow. I got tickets for Thursday.
And you've been nonstop since opening day on Thursday.
Nonstop. Literally, we left from opening day to Amanda, our friend's bachelorette party in Jersey. So I have not slept. You can hear it in my voice. I'm very tired. And that's what I said. It was like my hangover spilled into our soundboard and the mics just got on my level. But
you walked in and we said hello and whatever. And you're like, you kind of sound like you have a voice now, which is good.
I'm trying to rally. But
you know what? I hope you don't let the internet, the trollers bother you at all. I don't know if you read some of that.
They call them trollers.
I don't know if you saw the comment after. It was like this last night. It was like some guy who has like 2 followers. So I probably shouldn't even recognize this. But he's like, nothing like fans like giggling during interviewing a Hall of Famer. And I'm like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point that the show is what it is.
That's what I was saying. I was like, we're not professional journalists.
I don't want to be.
We're not. I literally told Mike Piazza, I'm a fangirl. I'm sorry if I'm giddy. It's a fan podcast. So
right.
I don't care.
No, I like that.
I honestly, I was thinking, I cannot remember the last time I was for anything that nervous to do anything.
Right.
It was so thrilling.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do more things.
No, it was great. And
no,
back to back, you wrote on Twitter too, back to back Piazza and David
That's
Wright.
That's so ridiculous.
Which is great. But if you haven't seen the show yet from last week, rewind later today.
Thank God
tonight,
this didn't happen last week.
No.
Imagine.
That would have been bad. But the interview with Piazza was great. And, I like that the way that we are with players or whoever we're talking to, they kind of, open up a little bit more than they might with like Tacoma or someone,
Yeah,
so
totally.
I had fun with having
That's
Piazza
what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fans talking to a player, not beat writers talking to a player. Whatever.
So giggle it up.
I will. I'll keep giggling.
All good. So I know you can't really talk much about the weekend because I think kind of like bachelor parties, you don't talk about what happens at the bachelor party.
In the bachelorette
but you had a good time?
Oh, it was amazing. I will say, because we did a very COVID-friendly bachelorette party. One of the bridesmaids' bosses owns the house. It's like the mansion Muhammad Ali used to live in the 70s. He apparently it was the height of his career. Yeah, it's in Jersey, in Cherry Hill. He designed it himself. It's completely his. It wasn't there before, and he designed the whole thing. So it's so cool. There's Muhammad Ali stuff everywhere. It's like a museum to him, basically. But we had that. It was just very small.
Security. Do you have to sign your lives away?
There's literally cameras in the house. There was cameras watching us.
Because with a house or a property of that high stature, you can't be going in there and throwing ragers.
No, there's literally cameras everywhere. So if you steal something, if you destroy something, you're gonna get caught.
That's kind of weird though, because it's like being on Big Brother.
I know. It literally, that's what it felt like. We're at a bachelorette party. We're all there was jacuzzi. We're whatever. But you know what? It's fine. We had a great time. We all got tested before, and we didn't leave the house. That was the great part about it. It was there was so much to do there that we didn't even have to leave. So it was great. I drank a lot because I was in stumbling distance from my bed whenever I needed to be. So it was great.
Yeah. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So you've been at it for 4 days.
Yeah, I'm very tired.
That's a lot.
But I really don't think unless I doubt they want to redo what they did yesterday, but they already have 4 games they need to make up in this season. So they're not going to cancel it unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But I think if it's like downpouring by like 5.
Well, I feel bad for everyone that was at the game yesterday. Like the fans too. Like I know, Kara was there.
Yeah, Kara was
there.
Kara and Michelle were there.
Michelle was rocking that awesome jacket.
I
That
know.
her mom gave
I
her.
love her jacket. It's
that
so
varsity,
good.
old school varsity jacket is pretty sick. But to pay the parking, and then people always bring up like, oh, the concession price, but yeah, but like it's not like you didn't get to enjoy that Coors Light,
right?
Or didn't get to
enjoy
that food.
Yeah.
But the parking is what it is. I mean, you don't get a voucher to come back. But that game, I mean, I was supposed to race yesterday. They canceled the race that like pretty much the day before, the night before, whatever,
because they looked at
give
the
everyone
weather.
notice. I check these weather apps.
We talk about this. You love weather apps.
I'm like, my buddy Dan calls me Doppler Darren because I'm always checking the Doppler, checking the radar. If you don't follow at WX Mets on Twitter, you should. I don't know what his or her day job is, but they also have this account on Twitter that just reports all Mets weather news, which is pretty cool. But everyone knew that it was going to rain all day yesterday.
I know.
So to have Stroman warm up and go out there and pitch 9 pitches over 7 minutes, and the field was a mess. He even tweeted afterwards, like Lindor was standing in a puddle. Yeah, he was standing in a puddle. They couldn't even hold on to the bat. What's the point of starting the game? And I'm on his side. I mean, the Mets deserve to get trashed on this because it's their ballpark, their rules. They're the ones who decide to start the game. And then once the game starts, it's in the umpire's hands.
Yep.
And if the players are putting themselves in danger to play a game in April that they can certainly make up, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How many times have we played the Marlins?
That's what I'm saying is I genuinely don't think if the whole national series got canceled, I don't think they ever would have started that game. I think they were just in panic mode. Like, we already have 3 games to make up. It's going to rain later this week. Like, we need to try and play if we can. It's a day start. Like, maybe we can wait it out. But like, no, it was dumb. You're only screwing yourself over. Like, now Stroman has to wait 5 days to pitch again.
No, that too. You got to think of the other team also. I mean, the Marlins, after they left last night, they were going to head, I think, to Atlanta. So you also don't want to stretch the game out all day, have them play a night game. Then they have to travel and get into work, into Atlanta at like 4 a.m., whatever it may be. It just wasn't great planning.
Yeah.
Ahead of time, you can certainly look at the Doppler. I'm sure they have better apps than I do. But even I knew they probably weren't playing.
They said something like it was like an exclusive weather or like forecaster. Like, it was, they were trying to make it like they had a fancy weather person that told them it was okay to play. I was like, sure.
They should just follow at weather
exactly
at WX Mets weather on Twitter, and they would have realized that. But speaking of like wasting, like Stroman wrote something, now I got to sit for 5 days. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I don't know why they can't just throw him in a couple days from now. But like, speaking of wasting the arms, Peterson's the only one who had a shaky start so far to the rotation. I mean, he got blown up on that first, but if you can't erase the first inning, but he did piece together like 4 or 5 more strong innings and kind of kept the Mets in the game the other day. So our starting pitching has not been an issue. The bats certainly have been. If you're not watching live and you're wondering what I might be wearing right now, I'm wearing my 2017 Michael Conforto All-Star Game jersey because it's unbelievable how many fans in our fan base are just so negative.
Insane. I feel like it's people who are like annoyed that they didn't extend him and like somehow blaming him for that, and now he's not playing. They're like, oh well, you wanted to be like.
But not only that,
it's just so irrational.
I'm friendly with Alyssa Rose. I think you are as well. I actually invited her to do a show with Miss Met. Miss Met says she doesn't want to put herself out there, so that's probably not going to happen. But Alyssa gets a lot of hate on the internet, and it's unfortunate because she is who she is. She can't take away that her father's Harry Rose, and she gets shit on for that. Like, oh, nepotism, whatever. Like, that's part of life, and if whether you like it or you don't like it, she got her job because she's talented, but she also is Howie's daughter. And like, people almost are like jealous of that, I guess. I don't know. So she put something out, which is, she'll probably admit when she cooled down a little bit, she probably went off a little bit too much. I don't know if you saw it.
I was unplugged all weekend.
She's like, Conforto, you're playing for your life. Like, we should trade you for a bag of balls. Like, saying stuff I didn't expect that she would say. And I'm like, you know what? In the heat of the moment, I can understand frustrations across the board. But I think she probably would take that one back. But fans have been, it's 5 days. The guy, it came out the other day, not to cut you off. No. It came out the other day when they canceled the Nationals series. I think we talked about it last Monday.
Yeah.
He had COVID a couple weeks before spring training. And I don't know how long it takes for you to get back to, knock on wood, I haven't caught it,
right.
To get back on your feet and start training again. But he couldn't work out for a couple weeks before spring training.
And not only that, but like it affects your lung capacity, everything.
Well, not only that, let's think of it this way. It's tough to get in a groove. I'm certainly not a baseball player, but let's just take riding, for example, or whatever.
Sure.
Once you start riding actively and you're back in it, your stamina goes up and you're better and you can perform.
Mm-hmm.
If you're starting off the season with these delays and the weather delays and so on and so forth, these guys haven't gotten a groove yet.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone freaking take a chill pill, step back from the ledge and realize the start of the season is not ideal right now when they're getting games canceled.
Yep.
The weather canceled yesterday.
Right.
This week looks like shit too. I don't even want to tell you about the weather report in Denver.
Know.
Did you look up Denver?
No, I didn't look at Denver. I'm talking Thursday where DeGrom's supposed to start.
You don't even want to know about Friday in Denver.
No.
I'm going to tell you.
Is it snowing? Is it going to snow? Don't tell me it's going to snow.
Denver, Friday, high of 40 degrees with snow.
Shut up.
Saturday, high of 47 degrees and cloudy. Sunday, 55 and mostly sunny. So if they get snowed out on Friday, they might have to play a doubleheader on Sunday.
Honestly,
they only go to Colorado once.
I forget when I don't know if it was 2 seasons ago or whatever, but there was a season where like they had to play so many extra inning games or like long games. Like the bullpen was just shot by like the end of the first month of the season. It screwed them the whole rest of the year. I'm nervous about this. It's not that I'm nervous about the players playing well. I'm nervous about games getting canceled. You're going to have all these double headers. You're going to have pitchers on this irregular kind of rest because nobody knows when they're pitching or when they're playing. And like, I don't know. I feel like if something's going to screw you over, it might be that. So
yeah, it's unbelievable. And but it's a long freaking season.
I know.
So it's like,
I gotta say, back to Conforto, it's ridiculous. People need to calm. I understand, and I will say, because Mike Piazza even said last week, like he hated being booed. It sucked, but in the end, it kind of made him better. It made him want to work harder, whatever. So I'm not speaking on behalf of Michael Conforto, who knows how he feels. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy being booed. I don't think Mike Piazza said he did, but it is. That's kind of the blessing and the curse of being on a New York team is they're going to tell you how you feel, but like, give it a week.
Right.
It's been 5
days.
games. Like, come on. I can't.
I mean, granted, I'm cursing at my television too
of
when
course.
Conforto's leaving like 100 guys on base. Because if it wasn't for that elbow the other day,
I know.
I don't know. Like, no one actually checked my stats there when I put the tweet out the other day. But I think, as far as I knew when I was counting in my head how many times I've seen him be up with the bases loaded already this year, he's left like 17 runners on base. And I know, damn, I don't remember his name. Someone that used to write for Metsmerized. Damn, he left. I don't know what his name is again, but he wrote something up last night. I think the Mets have left 49 runners on base so far this season.
And it's insane.
5 games.
I don't know if you noticed, they added that stat to the scoreboard right next to hits, errors. They put left on base. I'm like, why would you do this to yourself? Like,
that's so depressing.
Yeah, like who is that stat for, other than to like make your own batters feel ashamed? Like, I don't know.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to catch up on. I wrote a few things out there on like the little breakdown of what we're going to talk about. We have an unbelievable opening day story to get to in a little bit. But probably the best case scenario for any opening day story that I've ever heard in my whole life.
Really? You're really hyping this up. I haven't heard it. I don't know what it is.
It's unbelievable.
I'm very excited.
Unbelievable. And also we have a plea for Steve Cohen in a little bit. And I know you're going to be very, very vocal about this one. So we'll get to that in a little while.
This show is a surprise to me. Every day Darren's like, let's just don't talk about anything.
You had just walked in.
Okay. It's my fault.
Let's talk about this though. Our friends over at Dugout Mugs have turned the top of a bat and turned it into a 12-ounce mug. We love them over at Dugout Mugs, and they are keeping it going with this free knob shot. I don't know how they didn't run out of these freaking things yet. Yeah. So they take the top of the bat, they turn it into the mug. They take the bottom of the bat, and they turn it into a shot. It's called the knob shot. You can get one for free. All you got to do is go to dugoutmugs.com/7line. No, the number 7 LINE. Mother's Day is coming up very soon. You can get a free gift here. All you got to do is pay the shipping and handling. So it's a $24.50 value. All you got to do is pay the $8.95 for the shipping. And while you're there, you may as well pick some other stuff up as well. A lot of great deals over at dugoutmugs.com. You could obviously select the Mets or any other team that you might want to pick up a knob shot of. Very simple, very easy. dugoutmugs.com/7line. Hit them up, and then check out the rest of the site as well. They have so many great offers. They have the MLB license, the MLBPA license. They are the only licensed bat mug out there through the league. So they have the option to do a lot of really cool stuff with the logos, and they have a lot of awesome options up there. Some wine mugs, some bottle openers. We love them. You should too. Check them out today, dugoutmugs.com.
Woohoo.
So I don't want to tell the story secondhand.
Okay.
Because I heard it and I thought it was freaking awesome. So I'm inviting someone in to tell
Love
the
it.
story for us. And he or she, I don't want to give it away too much, is not here yet.
Okay.
So when they do show up, we will get to that. But
Perfect.
So your opening day experience, I know you went with your dad.
I did.
Was that how many years straight have you gone?
10. That was our 10th.
No way.
Yeah, our 10th in a row. So my first one, he would never let me miss school for games. And then my first one was because I did really well on my SATs. As a reward, he got me tickets opening day. It was 2012. It was Johan Santana's first start back from injury. They won. It was great. But yeah, this was our 10th in a row. We were up in heaven in section 536. I got sunburn. It was so hot. Yeah. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
I had sunblock in my eyes. I had to go to the bathroom. I brought my own food. I brought my own lunch and snacks and stuff. I didn't leave the seat at all except for going to the bathroom and also welcoming Alex Cohen over to the section for a second, which was really cool.
Sneak that in there.
Which I thought was it was very sick, awesome.
Yeah.
But the story that we're going to hear is even better than that.
I can't.
So I rushed up to the bathroom and my eyes were burning and someone was trying to talk to me. I can't remember who it was, but I'm over near the bathroom. Someone's like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "I'm not trying to be a dick. I got sunblock in my eyes." So like I lathered up in the parking lot and the only thing I could find at the house was like Emilia's 70 proof child, whatever. And I sprayed my face, and I guess when I started to like sweat a little, my eyes were killing me.
Yeah.
So
no, it was awesome.
Yeah, I brought my own sandwich, like my own wrap.
I was gonna say you probably got the veggie stuff. Like
yeah. I brought tofurkey and some other. I made one for Kelly as well. And someone yells from the back, "Darren brought a burrito." I'm like, "Where'd you get the burrito from?" I'm like, "I brought it from home, man." Like I left the seats like twice.
Oh my god, no, we went in early to get Shake Shack because
I was nervous about getting in. But shout out to Mets. It was really
so easy to get in. Very quick, simple process. I was too. That's why we went in early. We got there and we were just like, we're just going to go right in.
You like to go in early anyway. Like even when we went to DC the one time, you went straight in.
Well, I wanted to go in early because I had that big David Wright sign and he was out for, and when they're out for batting practice and on weight trips, they'll usually like come over and sign and take pictures or whatever. But no, me and my dad like to go in early because we always get Shake Shack and those lines are ridiculous. And I'm not trying to miss the game to be on a line for food. So we did that, but it was funny because me and my dad were at Johan Santana's no-hitter. I have been at the other 2 no-hitters. I've been at every no-hitter in Citi Field history. I've been at all 3. And I was sitting there. We always joke about it. And so we're sitting there. It was the first pitch. I'm like, I have a good feeling, no-hitter. Yeah. And I said it. And I started counting. He got one out. I'm like, all right, 26 more to go. And I was counting down every out. We got to 14. And then he finally gave up a hit. I really thought something was going to... I said it as a joke at first. I was like, oh my God, he's actually doing it.
You know what was crazy? Like I got the Clear app and I thought that you'd be able to link your results because Thursday morning, Kelly and I went to City MD for the rapid test.
It didn't link for me.
Me either. But you didn't need it.
Yeah, no. I literally just showed out a print of paper. The place I went didn't send emails, and I was so nervous because I thought everything had to be electronic. But they gave us like a printout, and they were just like, "All right, great, you're good."
I mean, we talked about it. There's certainly many ways for fans to, skirt the system here, but I feel like
just so
everyone I know did it the
stupid.
right way. Because, number one, it is reckless and stupid. But like, imagine thinking you're going to opening day and you get there and you can't get in because you were trying to like pull a fast one and then they're like, "Oh, sorry."
That's not real. But also just like how irresponsible to not just, you're going into a group of 8,000 people.
Right.
It takes you, like I'm going today. I have a schedule for a rapid appointment. It's very easy to do. Go online and make one. Your spot is saved. You walk in, you get your test. You don't even have to wait around for the results. It gets sent to your phone.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just not put people's lives at
risk. My whole thing is like, I don't know when my next game is going to be, but I might wait till I'm fully vaccinated to go back just so I don't have to deal with the whole, like, I was frantic about CDMD. I'm like, what if they don't give me the result? Like I left, like we got the test and then we just started driving to Queens and then I got the email, but like, I didn't have any doubt that I was going to be negative, but like, what if something happened and like the test didn't go through and I'm sitting in Citi Field parking lot, I got to leave.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I might just wait until I'm like good to go.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'll go back. But I'm going to bring a man in right now who has.
It is a man.
It is a man. And his name is Herm. What's up, Herm?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear us okay?
I hear you loud and clear.
I don't know if you know, but we had a pretty weird start to the show. And I know I had to send you this link 2 times, so I'm glad you're here. As I was saying to Julia, I was talking with Alex Cohen before the game, and not to humble brag here, but I have her email address and we go back and forth. And she said like, "Hey, I want to come and check the section out." And I warned her ahead of time. I'm like, "Listen, if you come over, I feel like it's going to be like hard for you to get away because everyone's going to want your photo. Everyone's going to want to grab your ear for a second." She said, "Don't worry about it. I'll text you. We'll meet at the top of the section." So Kelly and I had went up. We spent a couple minutes and we were able to catch up and finally like meet in person and chat for a second.
Awesome.
My dad happened to be like sitting towards the top of the section, so he came up and said hello.
Oh, cool.
And he loves like showing off my grandfather's work ID. He keeps it in his wallet still, and he's like, "Oh, this is my dad. He used to work at Shea." So I was like, "Man, this is a great story." And then on my drive home, I see Herm's Instagram post, and I'm like, "Wow, this completely blows my story away." So, Mr. Herm, I want you to explain what happened to you on opening day, because honestly, I can't picture, after having over a year off from being at the ballpark, an experience better than the one you had.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be humble bragging like crazy. So get comfortable, get your humble brag juice.
I'm ready.
I'm about to sip it. So best way I can describe it, a couple months ago, I sent a copy of all of my 2019 drawing book to the Mets and I addressed it to Steve and Alex. And then Alex Cohen emailed me and she was like, "Oh, thank you, this and that," just singing my praises as one does. And she's like, "Oh, next time you're at the ballpark, let me know. Maybe we can link up." And I said, "Oh, my dad and I are planning on getting there for opening day." So then she writes me back and she goes, "Oh, would you like to draw me and Steve and the family at our first game as owners?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." So we worked through all that, and my dad and I were invited to the suite, like the owner's suite, which was so crazy, And so we got to go in, and it was tough because only, I think, 8 people were only allowed in there at a time. So I mean, talk about hospitality. They kicked out whoever was in there, and my dad and I walked in. We met everybody. We spoke for a little bit. We got a photo, which was really cool. And then, we hung out for a few minutes and they're like, "Okay, so the best way to draw us would probably be for the national anthem." They were like, "Everybody's going to be here." So, they were walking around. They're like, "Come back at, 10 to 1. And they put us like, basically that photo you just saw, me and my dad were like sitting right there. And my dad was such a great photographer. I was like, "Dad, make sure you make my cool side." So anyway, so, I'm drawing it and I was super nervous too, because I was like, So anyway, so I'm drawing it, all that. It was awesome. They were so nice, so humble, so amazing. And then they're like, "Great." And we spoke for a few more minutes. Yeah, that's my drawing there. So that was really fun.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, so we drew that there. And then we're like, "Okay, cool. We'll see you later." Everybody was busy and I wanted to get back to drawing the game. So for those of you that don't know, I love to draw the baseball games. It's a big part of my professional career. So anyway, so we went to our terrible seats in the 300 section, 336, whatever. So I'm back there, and then maybe like 2 or 3 innings later, it's like the end of the 4th, top of the 5th, and I'm getting text messages from somebody, and I was like, "Who is this?" And they're like, "Oh my God, come to the top of the stairs." And Alex Cohen was there with this like guy with a big camera. So I don't know what they were doing. They come down and they're like, "Oh, she gives me a ticket for me and my dad." And she goes, "Please enjoy these seats." And I was like, "Okay, great." And it was funny because there was a part of me that was like, I'm already in the middle of drawing from what I'm seeing here. So maybe I won't go to the seats. And then I looked at the seat and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm totally going." So my dad and I went and we sat in literally the first row right behind home plate. And, I've been to many, many baseball games and I've never sat that close. And my dad, who, he's in his late 60s and has been a Met fan his whole life, has never sat anywhere that close remotely. So it was really cool. I think it was the only time he was proud of me was the fact that I was able to get those seats and we sat there. And it was awesome. I went from, I was texting Darren. I know I'm a windbag. I'm talking. I was texting Darren and I was like, "I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. And I went from not being able to go to getting like kind of nice seats to incredible seats to, meeting the owners." So it was awesome. I love them. They're great. They're great people. And it was really, really fun.
My
Dude,
God.
your day was incredible.
That's insanity.
And for those who don't know, I mean, if you know anything about the 7 Line, you probably already know Herm because we did the art show. And, that was a great way to fill some time during the quarantine. And Herm and I have some plans. I don't know if we even spoke about this out loud yet, but Herm and I are working on a coloring book together. And
I love that.
We got the blessing of MLB. So Herm's working on that. So we're going to have a coloring book come out soon.
That's
Art class with Herm coloring book. I don't know. Are we going to call it that? It's up to you.
Yeah, I can't. I'm terrible with names, so we'll come up with something. Maybe something cool, flashy, awesome. It'll be cool.
But I think, like, honestly, the way that Alex and Steve are operating so far as owners,
I'm literally
especially
speechless
with the fans, is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, incredible. The way that they've been reaching out, you know, they sent out those Shea Bridge hats, you know, and the way that even on opening day, they're so busy in general as just humans, to go to opening day and then, you know, take time to come out and see us.
Make your rounds to the big fans.
Bring Herm in.
Crazy.
And unbelievable. So Herm, your story is incredible.
Herm, so well deserved too. That's amazing.
That's awesome. Much. It was awesome. It was so fun. Like I said, it was all for my dad. He's finally proud of me after 38 years. So, you know, real quick before I bounce off, it was really funny because we were sitting in those incredible seats. And when I'm drawing, most of the time I'm like, you know, I look like a pigeon. My head's going up and down. So I said to my dad, and I was like, you know, I feel really rude having these amazing seats, and here I am sitting here drawing. And he looks at me, he goes, the reason we're sitting here is because of your drawings.
Exactly.
So he's like, please keep doing it. And I was like, all right. So it was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Herm, you're the man. Thank you so much for checking in.
Oh my
I'm
God,
glad you got home in time, because we were texting this morning. He's like, hey, I'm actually at the Javits Center getting my shot. I don't know if I can make it.
Oh,
but
no.
I'd rather he could tell the story way better than I could. You know?
Absolutely.
So Herm, I appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
Have a good one, bro.
Bye, Herm.
Bye.
Herm is the
my
man.
God.
So imagine.
That's insane.
Incredible story.
And just like, I mean, like, who knows what the Cohen's legacy will be with the team. Hopefully it's a great one. Imagine being able to say like, oh yeah, I drew them at their first game at Citi Field as owners. And insane.
And Steve is a big art collector, right? So this is a big deal, kind of.
This is a huge deal.
You have like your multi-million-dollar statues, and then you have a piece from Herm too, like in your collection.
I was going to say that
it honestly makes Herm's value go up.
I was going to say it really says a lot, because there are a lot of artists out there. There are a lot of artists who do Mets design, Mets whatever, and for them to hand select Herm, knowing like how, like, they're art people, they know
we don't want
what's
a photo, we want a piece of art.
Yeah, and they know what's good, classy art, and what's not, like what talent is and what it isn't.
And he has such a distinct style too, you know. So it's like the Herm style is like, it is what it is. Like you know it, you know, you see it and you know that it's a Herm. Which is incredible. So it's like, honestly, if I was him, I'd have this all over my website now.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Commissioned by the Cohen family.
Yeah.
To like draw them at Citi Field on their first ever opening day.
That's insane. And just the front row tickets are like the cherry on top.
Especially not only that, but like with everything that happened over the past year and a half into the world, this isn't just like any opening day.
This is a historic opening day.
Unbelievable story.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so shout out to Herm for coming on, and obviously you can follow him. He's not as active on Twitter, but he's heavily active on Instagram. I think it's Herm's Terms on Twitter, and he doesn't have the match. Let me just double check so I don't screw this up, because I don't want to give a shout out to the wrong handle here. One is Herman, and one is Herm's Terms. Okay, Herman is the Instagram. Herm's Terms is the Twitter.
Okay.
So shout out to Herm. Thank you for coming on the show. Unbelievable.
So cool.
So we do have to give another little quick shout out here. We have a birthday in the house.
Happy birthday!
It is Tomas Nito's birthday today, and I don't know how old he is, but shout out to him.
He's a great follow on Twitter. You pointed that out to me. He's funny.
Yeah, really funny.
Everyone should follow Tomas Nito on Twitter. He's so, you know, like the whole what's his name? Bob Nightingale, like the curse of like everything he says, the opposite happens. Whenever anything goes wrong, Tomas Nito just hashtags Bob. It's so funny. It's amazing.
Very, very funny. Speaking of just like creative Mets fans, we want to give another shout out to somebody else here, because we started reading a book. You got a little bit deeper in it than I did.
I did.
I knew that you were going to jump in heavy on it, because I think I only emailed it to you this morning and you already started firing through it. It's just like when you got the David Wright book, you read it like twice.
I read it in a day the first time because I was so excited to read it. And then that was like months before we interviewed him. So then I read it again as we got closer so I could get questions that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, and I think you also fact checked it. I think you caught a couple things in the book.
Okay, I did catch a few typos, but they had sent us an earlier version.
Brother, like one of the brothers was like wrong. You're like, this should be the other brother.
This is humiliating. Yes,
but it's.
I know.
I'm sure Tacoma appreciated that.
Yeah, but it did. So it was silly. It was like there was one thing with like his home run stats. Like you could tell there was an error because it said it in one sentence, then the next sentence didn't match up. Like I did know what they were, but I think anybody would have kind of caught that and been like, whatever. But yeah, they sent us an earlier version version. Like by the time I did point it out to him, because like that book's his baby, like you can't let that go, whatever.
Right.
But he was like, oh my God, thank you so much. But like we double checked, and you got an earlier version, everything's fixed. So
yeah.
But yeah, I did jump into this book because it's a good read.
Yeah, it's called the New York Mets Shea Stadium Mystery. It's a murder mystery based around Shea Stadium.
I love it.
The premise of this is so cool and creative because the way that it's basically written is the Mets, every time there's a murder at Shea Stadium, the Mets go on a winning streak. How awesome is that? Like, who could we sacrifice to have the Mets win some more games?
You're literally, my theory that I think Jacob deGrom looks like a serial killer. Have you ever heard this? Because like this is like a full-fledged theory that I have with like reasoning. So when you sent me this, I was like, yes, this is perfect. The only thing that would make it more perfect is if Jacob deGrom ever pitched at Shea Stadium.
Yeah, so shout out to Kevin Mahon. If you go on Amazon, you could easily search for it. And he actually dropped the price special this week because he knew that we were going to talk about the book on the show. Mm-hmm. It's only $4.99 if you have a Kindle or if you have another device like an iPad. And then I also saw on Amazon, you can click and subscribe to Kindle for free for a 30-day like free trial. So you can actually read the book for free. I'm not trying to take money out of his pocket, but you could download that app, I guess. Mm. And then become a member of Kindle and then just read it for free. But it's only $5. So
pay the money.
You were reading it, and it's really cool too because it's written in such a way where there's obviously the murder mystery, which is not true, right? But it's sprinkled in with true stories from Kevin.
It's supposed to. I didn't do the exact math because I read it quickly, but it references that the Yankees only have 21 World Championships. So I think it takes place somewhere in like the 90s. It's after 86 because they mentioned like that had happened. So I don't know. I didn't do the math, but the general manager, all those names are fake, but Fred Wilpon is like the owner in it, and it's like Fred Wilpon's a character. It's really
maybe
good.
He's the killer. It's written in such a way because wouldn't that make sense? Like the owner is the killer because they start winning. So like if you're an owner, start killing people off. Like,
absolutely, it makes you more money.
This is going to get me 5 more wins in the bank. Like who can we kill next?
I can't. I didn't get as far as to any murderers happening yet. Yeah. But like seeds are being planted of like who has potential to murder or whatever.
We've done it.
It's really good. It's different.
We definitely recommend it. And I'm not a huge reader either, but I think that you are, but I'm not.
Oh, I'm not.
The way that when you're interested
when I'm interested, yes, and I'll read the whole thing.
So it's written in a way where it's almost like kind of like this show, like we're just kind of like chatting back and forth like a fan, very fan driven. So definitely check it out on Amazon. Very easy to find. Just type it in the search. It's a murder mystery that takes place in Shea Stadium. Every time a murder takes place, the Mets go on a winning streak. It's a race to the finish to see if the killer is caught or if the Mets keep winning. Older fans will enjoy the nostalgia of Shea and wonderful memories, and younger fans will get a glimpse into some special times in Mets and Shea Stadium history. So shout out to Kevin. Definitely go check that out. Super easy to find over on Amazon. I'm getting a comment here from Jeff, and he says Madoff did it. If you guys have any suggestions on who the killer might be, honestly, it does make a lot of sense for DeGrom to be the killer right now because this guy is getting the shaft left and right, and he has an opt-out after 2022. And honestly, as an athlete and a competitor and just a human who doesn't want to go fucking mental, I wouldn't blame him in the least.
Not at all.
If this continues this year and next year and he's like, I'm done.
It's literally ridiculous. And it's just, I can't. I have no words for it. I don't remember the stats off the top of my head, but like it's historic how bad the offense is specifically for DeGrom. It's not even like for all of the starters as a whole. It's insane. I like same thing. If he were to opt out, I don't know if you were to be mad at DeGrom for that.
No.
You're dumb because who would want to do this?
Did you ever see the movie, the zombies movies, the Disney zombies movies?
No.
There's a song called Ridiculous in it, and whenever I hear someone say ridiculous, I can't get the freaking song out of my head. You'll have to
add it to the soundboard.
It's bad, but Amelia loves it, so I know all that stuff by heart now. But RIDICILOUS, and they're like clapping. It's like I don't know if maybe they're cheerleaders. I don't know. It's like zombies in high school. It's a crazy story.
Oh, this sounds familiar, but no, I haven't seen it.
Maybe that's Descendants. I don't know. One of those two. It might be Descendants. It might be zombies. It's one or the other.
Some other parent watching back.
Yeah, everyone is writing in the chat like, "Oh my God, don't sing." So we are live on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube right now. We want to know where you guys are watching from. So it is a Monday. Share the show. We are giving away some stuff from Coors Light like we are for last week. I'll get to those winners in a second. Last week, I think I may have to may have had to trim out the winners when I posted it on Instagram
Ooh.
because we were over by 6 minutes.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what to cut out. And I texted you last Monday. We went over by 6 minutes and took me like 4 hours to make up the 6 minutes.
So rough. And that's why I was like, I knew like you have to start a new link because you wouldn't.
Yeah, no. We had to edit that and chop it up and get it up afterwards on, as a podcast and also on Instagram. So yeah, anyway, share the show right now and you'll be put in the running to win some free stuff from Coors Light. Just post it on your wall.
Snap it to the chat. Swipe it to the right. Post it on your wall.
Post it on your wall.
Swipe it to the right. I don't think I heard that one.
Post it on your wall if you're watching on Facebook, and you'll be in the running to automatically win some stuff for next week. If you're listening afterwards as a podcast, you could also hop on over during the week and share the show on Facebook or retweet the tweet on the Seven Lines Twitter account, and that's how you're put in the running. So let us know where you're watching from. We got Arkansas in the building,
Arkansas,
New Windsor, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Jefferson, Indiana. So we're covering it up here. We got Ridgewood, New York. You know what's funny about our website? When we post sales, I can actually watch a map of like pins drop all over the country of like where people are shopping from. And there's a place in like, where is it? Kansas. I think your computer, an IP address, if it's not recognized by websites, it automatically says you're in Kansas. So yeah,
why Kansas?
It's weird. It might not be Kansas. Anyone could feel free to correct me in the chat.
That's so random.
There's some random place that it just goes to Kansas if it doesn't know where you are. So every time I'd have a sale, I'm like, how are there so many fans in Kansas? Because I'm watching the map, like the heat. It's like shows a heat map of like where people are shopping and hitting the site. And Kansas always lights up, and I'm like, it's so freaking weird. Why all these people are in Kansas?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, really weird. By any chance, did you get any free Coors Light seltzers at opening day?
I didn't. I didn't leave my seat, and there were no vendors that I don't think they come up.
No one was walking around, but
no.
We got into the stands. I didn't buy anything either. I didn't leave the seats, but shout out to Lucho who came over and blessed Kelly and I with some beverages there.
Oh, Lucho's the best.
In here. Yeah, and you know what? I haven't.
I missed him so much.
He's done that before, and obviously we're super appreciative of anyone who wants to come and give us some alcohol. But he hands us a couple beers, and then we watch the game. But Lizzie had showed me that she was the lucky recipient of a free Coors Light seltzer, and
she wanted them so bad.
They were handing out vouchers for free seltzers, the tall boys. So I don't know if that's an everyday thing or just a special thing on opening day, but the bar behind our section now is like Coors Light branded.
Okay.
And I guess if you're waiting online to buy something, they were like, well, you could buy something if you want, but do you want it for free instead?
Wow.
So they had Coors Light vouchers, and a bunch of people were like definitely partaking in the freebie.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lizzie's listening from inside. I think it was a tall boy, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Like they just gave it to you, and you probably show proof of ID,
right?
And then that's how you got the free Coors Light. But that's incredible. So
love that for her.
We know that tonight might be a little iffy with the rain, but you still probably want to get set up with some Coors Light. So hit up Drizly. Drizly.com. They deliver beer to your home or wherever you want to get your beer delivered. I think within an hour.
It was a tall boy.
Getting some free drinks at a game is always beautiful.
Just came like running in the room, almost like overran the door. It was a tall boy.
I've been using Drizly. I know Julia's more partial to Instacart, but either way, you can get your beers delivered and reset and chill and get ready for the baseball season. And hopefully don't chill too much because I know it's supposed to snow this week in Denver. But definitely go check them out. Always drink responsibly. And Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, our friends at Coors Light are awesome. And we have some stuff coming in the mail from them that I know we talked about, like the pint glasses and some other stuff that we have for giveaways. The stuff that we have coming though is unbelievable. So
can we say
some merch, some like clothing merch, and some other stuff that I think our fans are going to really love. So
awesome.
Definitely check back next week and hopefully we can show it off. I think it's getting delivered on Wednesday.
Okay.
So today's Monday, right? 2 days from now.
Yep.
Speaking of merch, what's up with this shirt you're rocking right now?
I don't even know if you can see it.
Yeah, I don't have the two angles anymore.
Sorry, it's okay. I'm just gonna move really quick so you can.
All right, so Julia's tank top says "bad mother effer," And she went on a drunken shopping spree the other night.
Did. It was like last week. I think it was the day before Easter, or maybe like 2 days before Easter. I was just like drinking with my family, whatever. And then I was just like trying to go to sleep. And I was actually I wanted to make merch for my business. I wanted to have like t-shirts I could wear while walking the dogs, whatever.
Said, screw it. Let me just make some Mets stuff.
Literally, I did that. And I was like, you know what? I want a Mets crop top and I don't have one. And I made one. And then it was just like a floodgate opened. I was like, I can make anything I want. And I just started making all this stuff. So I made this one. I don't know if people don't know, I think Lindor was asked in his press conference after he signed this extension, like, you know, how do you want to be remembered by the end of your contract? And he said, I want to be known as a bad mother effer. And I was like, that's amazing. I need that everywhere. I also got a mask that says it too, but I feel like I may not be able to walk into the stadium wearing that one. Maybe put it on when I'm at my seat. But yeah, I did. I bought a lot of clothes.
So speaking of Lindor, hold on a second. Let me pull this over here because I saw something last night that I thought
this was bittersweet for me.
You might get a little reaction out of.
Yeah.
And Lindor put something on Twitter last night that said, you know, shout out to Beats. I guess they hooked everyone up in the clubhouse, which is a very expensive hookup for the whole clubhouse to be getting hooked up. But this photo struck me because I always recognize the corner locker. Mm-hmm. Kind of, if you've ever been in the clubhouse, I know that they let the fans through last year during the fan fest. Mm-hmm. The corner locker, the double locker was always David Wright's. Yeah. And now I guess it's Lindor's.
I know.
Does that make you sad?
It makes, I mean, listen.
They weren't going to leave it vacant.
I know. Forever. They weren't going to make it like a memorial locker. That would be kind of ridiculous. But you know what? If it had to go to anyone, at least it's Lindor, who's going to be here for 11 years. The only other person I'd probably prefer it would go to is DeGrom, just because he's DeGrom. And, you know, him and David are very good friends too. But you know, it's fine. It's just like one of those like twists of the knife of, you know, David Wright doesn't play baseball anymore. He's retired. You're old. But no, it's fine. It's great. I think that's awesome that I mean, you can see it in the first few games, you know, he'll go over, talk to pitchers that are struggling. Like he's taking on the leadership role. So like, I'm glad they're embracing that and gave him that spot.
So speaking of embracing, we have a plea for Mr. Steve Cohen and Alex and anyone involved in the new ownership group to put their foot down and take a stand.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Okay, good. You do. So for over a decade now, this has been an issue outside the ballpark. It saw a little bit of attention back in 2011. I think it was on the news. Mm-hmm. A couple news outlets and newspapers may have covered it, but it's unfortunate that even after the 1.5-year break, the dog is now put back to work at Citi Field to make money for this lazy owner who decides that his dog is now his employee.
Yep.
So I don't know if you follow Jocelyn.
I do. I love
So I don't think I know Jocelyn, but at Jossie TOR put this on Twitter last night, along with yesterday's. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, she put it up yesterday, along with yesterday's awful game, which he was talking about Saturday.
Right.
I'm sad to report that this poor pup has been summoned to work again.
I saw him on opening day too. And that's not the original dog. The original dog was
I think
Coffee.
Has 2 dogs. Yeah. The one was Coffee. I don't know what this dog's name is, but either way, it's unacceptable that an animal has to work for the owner. And the photo, the little thing he has down here, thank you for your
stupid.
What does it say? Thank you for the picture, but don't forget, I don't like cheap people. With a tip cup out there.
And what, you think the dog's pocketing that money and like paying its rent? Where do you think that money's going?
It's ridiculous.
Do you think that if the owner is spending it on the dog? I don't. Like, I'm sorry.
I know this definitely strikes, you know.
I'm very passionate about it just because I have personally been there and seen that dog there on weather days that no dog should be outside longer than they need to go to the bathroom, then go back inside. On freezing cold days, the dog is out there. On days when it's freaking 100 degrees out, you know, we have some under the shade from like the one little tree that comes out of the cement and there's a water bowl, but that's not enough. Like, you have this dog fully clothed with all these clothes to hide the shock collar. That is the reason that it's holding the bandana in the mouth. I can't. I love
the bandana and the pipe.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, the pipe in the mouth. But I can't. I love Coffee so much. She's like, I haven't seen her there in a while, which makes me anxious. But I would go over and I would literally like she would see me come over and walk off her mat and know because she's like like there was just a bond. We had a bond.
I'm not trying to get into a fist fight with anyone at the ballpark, but I certainly let the guy know what I think of
every time I walk by and I see people taking pictures. I'm like, this is animal abuse. Right. You're taking pictures with animal abuse for no reason.
So I wrote this back in September of 2017. It's a blog post. And every time I share it, it gets a ridiculous amount of traction on the internet. And, you know, I'm just trying to bring more attention to this because I feel like the way that the world has changed over the past decade,
right.
people are more sensitive to certain topics. And I think that certain things are
less acceptable than they were.
Yeah, less acceptable. And the more attention they get, the more action that has to take place. And Steve Cohen and Alex, you know, we just talked about it, coming over to see us or meeting Herman. They're going about this the entirely right way so far.
Yeah.
You know, they heard the call to action about the foul poles with the Chick-fil-A. They took those down. They put another billboard out in center field. And you know, I feel like if enough fans get behind something, they'll have to do something about it. And I don't want to put 100% blame on the Mets.
No.
I guess back then, in 2011, there's a quote here. The Mets released a statement in 2011, 10 years ago. We have addressed the matter with the NYPD and the Parks Department, as the Mets Plaza is an open public space on parkland and the Mets cannot control access. But I certainly believe that the Mets can certainly bring so much attention to it that both the NYPD and the Parks Department will have to do something about
Absolutely.
this. How is it okay? It's not like someone who's down on their luck and they're standing on a street corner and like, you know, I really need this money to survive.
I need to know, because don't you need to have a permit to do things like this, to do anything where you're out performing any sort of service for money? Like, don't you need to have a permit to do that?
If you want to even be like Elmo in Times Square, you got to do it the right way.
So how did this person get a permit to exploit their dog? I would love to know. So then that's what I'm saying. If you don't have a permit to do it, how, like, there has to be someone who can put their foot down and be like, you can't do this here.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I always said, like, if you saw a human sitting out there on a 100-degree day basking in the heat, like I always said, if we're ever going to do a protest, what I will do is literally set up a mat right next to this dog, wearing like the same amount of clothing with a bowl of water in front of me, and you watch how I'm sweating and how I'm miserable and I'm struggling to breathe, and then you wonder how this dog is. And I'm ready to do it whenever anybody else is. Obviously it needs to get a little hotter, but or even on a freezing cold day. It's ridiculous.
I don't know what to do, because I mean, I wrote the blog, I post about it all the time. I always share when anyone like @s the 7line account about this dog, or if I happen to see it, just like I did last night. But something has to be done. And I'm
sorry, a dog can't consent to this. A dog can't say, yes, I'm happy to do this. This is fun. This is fine.
Right.
It just infuriates me. Like, you wouldn't make a child do this. You know, like, I mean, I think of my dogs as my children. I know, you know, people with children, obviously it's your child is your child, your dog is your dog. I get that. But like, if you're not going to treat your dog as a member of your family, don't own one.
Right.
Don't bring it to a stadium and let it sit out there with strangers and take pictures so you can make a few extra bucks. I don't know what he's doing with this money. Listen, I will say, we don't know this person. We don't know if he's struggling, whatever. I can be empathetic to that, but you can't exploit an animal.
A decade. He's not struggling. If this was something that like he did once because like, oh shit, I got to make a couple extra bucks.
He does it at Yankee Stadium too.
10 years.
Yeah, he does it at both stadiums.
Unbelievable. It's still a thing. And you know, it's just really just unacceptable. But like, I don't really have the time to do it, but I would guess that this dog makes the owner over $100 in just a couple hours. Like if you want to just sit out there and watch this guy and try to count the money that goes in, because people don't really do change anymore. It's probably like singles and stuff like that. But and the ballpark's cashless now too. So I don't know, maybe this guy's going to take a little bit of a hit. I hope so. But it's really crazy. And I think that's something absolutely needs to be done, and hopefully soon. So yeah, share the show. Let's get to last week's winners.
Oh yes.
We are giving these winners, because I forgot last week.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you forgot to give out prizes
getting
last
the
week.
Coors Light stuff.
Okay.
Last week's winners, which I didn't contact yet, and I promise I will soon. Last week was crazy. They're getting gift cards to the site. These people that we say right now are going to get some free Coors Light stuff. Not alcohol, but free Coors Light merch, which is really cool. So last week's winner on Twitter is @T_struck_wonder.
I think that's a Swiftie.
Oh, really?
Wonderstruck. I'm pretty sure it's a Taylor Swift fan. If so, I'm very excited. Continue. Sorry.
And on Facebook, it's Chris Sloanin. So Chris and Struck Wonder or Wonderstruck.
Well, Wonderstruck was
the song.
It was the name.
What's
of
up with her bangs, by the way?
Oh my God, she's being smart, and she hasn't been to a hairstylist since COVID happened.
Lord.
She's cutting her own bangs.
Is that on purpose?
Leave her alone. She's cutting her own bangs. She's doing her best. She's being smart. She's not going to a hairstylist.
I thought that that was like a role she was playing.
She's literally she's just cutting her own bangs.
Oh my God. They looked similar to my bangs when I was a kid.
I know, they're
and
not
my
great.
Mom, like, I guess she just didn't have time to bring me to the hair, like to the barber. But there's some photos of me as a kid, like photo day, where the front of my head is so jacked up.
I know.
And I kind of like it.
I mean, she's got curly hair too. So bangs with curly hair
I saw her
are
in
always
some commercial the
rough.
other day. I was like, this is not a good look for her.
Yeah. Leave her alone.
No, it's fine.
I love her.
She's very talented, but her bangs.
And I appreciate the reason why. She doesn't want to risk being around people she doesn't need to be around. So Good for her.
Okay. Yeah, the same photo with my jacked up haircut. I'm thinking I'm wearing like a shirt with like a sweater that had like zippers all over it and a neon background, like the cheesy, like old school neon background when you're a kid, getting the photos done.
We'll
It's probably before
that.
your time, but yeah, I'll have to look for it. It's wonderful. Yeah. So anyway, the Mets haven't played that many baseball games yet this year, but we hope that everything bounces back for them soon. And when they do get back on track, they stay that way because we had such high hopes for the team leading into the season. Obviously, new ownership, Lindor.
I told you I'm superstitious. I didn't want to get too excited.
I'm super
too quickly.
high on Peterson still. I mean, you can't like take a bad inning.
One inning and one start.
Right. It's unbelievable that the amount of fans that I've been watching on the internet just kind of lose their shit over the last
crazy.
week. Everyone's like tensions and in general are so high right now because of everything that everyone's been through for the past year.
But also, we hyped ourselves up this offseason.
Also, you're looking forward to something for a change.
Absolutely.
It's hard to like go over the past year or so. And if you haven't had much to look forward to, now baseball's back and it happens like every single day for 6 months or whatever it is.
I know.
So now that like all these breaks, people are kind of losing their shit. And hopefully Conforto bounces back. Everyone gets off his ass.
He'll be
Jeff
fine.
McNeil starts hitting an epic bat flip the other day.
Oh my God. That was awesome. And it was his birthday too. Did you give him a birthday thing last week? I don't remember.
I think so.
We might have.
Wasn't his birthday?
Last week's a fucking blur. I don't know.
Oh no, I didn't actually. I think I forgot.
I think he deserves one.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't give you the birthday shout out.
No, that was amazing. I was so happy because he was going through it. He had been dropped to 7th in the lineup. And I think and he was like benched the day before. They sat him. That was stupid to me. I'm sorry. I understand, wanting to get all your players going. And I don't know. I disagreed with that one. Rojas has made a few questionable decisions so far this year.
Big time. And, it's an early start. And we have so many all-stars on this team. I think that we're going to be just fine. So everyone just kind of chill out.
I agree.
We do have a couple other things to get to in a second here, but I wrote down a couple of random facts here. I know that I was kind of heavy on the endorsement of Zupu. I don't think you guys should buy it because it didn't really work.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't work. It just made me like my mouth dry for a week and it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Wow,
so,
we do not like Zupu.
If you bought Zupu because of me, I'm sorry. It didn't really do anything for me. It actually did like the adverse effect. Like it's supposed to like clean. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I just didn't need it.
I don't know.
I've been eating healthy for a couple of years. Maybe I just didn't need it. So I was taking this thing that's supposed to like clean out all these bad toxins.
Yeah, I don't think you have bad toxins in your body. You brought a friggin' vegetarian burrito to a ballpark, so I think you're fine.
You know that we talked about this. You don't drink coffee.
No.
I haven't had caffeine now in like 2 months.
Yeah, I don't drink any caffeine.
But I drank like 65 gallons of water because I drink a gallon of water a day now and almost more than that.
Water's really all I drink.
I'm killing it on the water.
Yeah.
But Zupu, if you're looking to clean yourself out, that's not the way to do it. So
I love that we needed to address this.
I had to because I wrote it down. Because you know what? I feel like sometimes people like we start talking about things and people may be like, oh, is this an ad? It's not an ad.
It's not an ad. Just really like to say Zupu and then it got out of control.
I just, you know what it was? I really just liked talking about like poop. I think it's just funny. And also having a fart button, which I haven't. We
made it so long without the fart button.
I think it's been 6 weeks.
It's been
since no fart button. But if you have a fart button, how could you not use it? You know what I mean?
I don't.
Is that wrong?
I don't know what you mean.
I'm sorry. So if anyone's listening, that's the thing about this show.
I know. This show is just off the rails. Always.
It is a Mets show, kinda. It is a Mets brand. I own a Mets brand. We're big Mets fans, but there's only so much you could talk about. And then I think that like the same thing with this fucking loser saying don't giggle during Piazza. I didn't
even see that. I would have laughed no pun intended, but I would have laughed hysterically if I saw that. I mean, like, I was 3 years old, obsessed with him as a child, and he's sitting in front of me. I'm telling him a story about how I cried into a fucking sign. You think I'm not going to giggle a little bit?
They call them trollers.
But that's the whole point. I think that people like the show. People that are in the chat and they watch the show and they watch the replay, they watch it because we're not Martino.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But I think you, especially, and the brands, because the Mets have given you such a platform and they've embraced you so much or whatever, people confuse what this is. Like, they think you're like this official representative of the Mets, that when you do a podcast, you interviews, like you're a beat writer, you have to maintain some sort of professionalism. You're a Mets fan who had a great idea before anyone else did and fucking lucked out. And now we have a podcast that's a Mets fan podcast where sometimes players come on it and fans talk to the players. That's what it is.
Yep.
So
deal with it. All right, guys. Also, before we get out of here, Project Repat USA. If you're not following them on Instagram, you're really effing up. Lizzie's here looking in the background. She still hasn't ordered hers, but we have to get on it. My plan is to take outing T-shirts from only the games that we won, and we're going to make a T-shirt quilt out of it. So if you're not watching and you're listening afterwards, go on their Instagram, Project Repat USA, and it's projectrepat.com if you want to go pick one up of your own. They're always running special deals on their website. And even without the deals, these things are phenomenal. A lot of our friends have them. My dad has one. MJ and Nancy have them.
Yeah, theirs is cool.
A bunch of people have them. Kevin in California's got one. They have made over, what does it say here? 500,000 happy customers. That's an insane amount of T-shirt quilts.
That's a lot.
You don't have to just use T-shirts. You could use jerseys. You could use your favorite polo shirt, whatever you want to use. They take them, they cut them out, they turn them into squares, make a quilt out of it, and it's a really phenomenal idea. I'm jealous. You know what? People are probably jealous that they didn't think of that also, just like the same way people get pissed at us for not thinking of the 7 line first. But anyway, what they're doing is a completely free T-shirt quilt. All you have to do, it's super simple, is to go to Project Repat USA on Instagram, follow their account, and make sure you're wearing something Mets related in your profile photo, whether it's at the game, whether it's blue and orange, something Mets related so they can scour through and know that you're a Mets fan, Mets hat, whatever it may be. And once a month, they are going to pick out someone from the list of followers to get a completely free T-shirt quilt on the house. So go on over to Project Repat's Instagram or their website. Check it out. Custom T-shirt quilts. They've been featured pretty much everywhere on the Today Show, CNN, Elle Magazine, and they do great work. So definitely head on over there and check them out. You're supposed to go to the game tonight.
I am. I have my rapid appointment at 1:45.
Oh man, we got to get out of here.
We start a little late, but it's fine.
We started late.
I'm okay. I think it's right in Smithtown, so I should be fine.
All right, great. So I'm hoping that you have a great time tonight. Hopefully the wind shifts and the clouds move on out to sea and everything is all good. Yeah, we do have some new stuff that just came in. I was going to talk about this earlier, but our Shea Stadium neon T-shirt is now going to also have a decal. You can't see it perfectly because it is a die cut decal where only the blue and orange can be seen. It's going to be awesome on the back of your car or maybe your laptop, wherever it may be. Have it up now against a white piece of paper just so you can see. It's like 6 inches wide. It's a really good size. So check that out. All right, guys. So enjoy your weeks. Shout out to Kevin Mahon. Pick up his book on Amazon, The Murder Mystery, based at Shea Stadium, which is awesome.
So cool.
DougAtMugs.com/7line for the free knob shot. Of course, Coors Light over on Drizly and Instacart, and our friends at Project Repat USA. I'm pretty sure that covered all the bases. Thanks for rolling with us this week.
Not Zupu. Don't check out Zupu.
Don't buy Zupu. It doesn't work. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Let's go Mets.